which I guess we could just go to that. The home run derby champion Juan Soto um, declined a $440 million contract with the Washington Nationals, his current team, basically saying he wants to play on a more competitive team, right? He said that in the offseason. His agent, Scott Boras, said he wants to be on a team that is showing that they are trying to win. The Nationals obviously aren't. Soto already won a World Series with them, so, he's already leaving Washington with a ring. 7 teams I've read have already reached out to the Nationals camp for deals or what it would take to get Juan Soto. Those 7 teams are the Seattle Mariners, San Diego Padres, San Francisco Giants, Los Angeles Dodgers, St. Louis Cardinals, New York Yankees, New York Mets. All, you got all the big spenders in there: Yankees, Dodgers, Mets, the Cardinals with a huge core of young players that they can look to trade. Mariners obviously are trying to, they're on a 14, 15 game win streak. They're trying to make the push. Padres maybe need one more huge star to pair with Machado and Tatis. And the Giants, uh, don't really know what to say about that. I don't think he ends up there. But
Why
James,
would you want to go there?
how do you feel about this? Soto's obviously, he's 23 years old. He's younger than Adley Rushman, who was the number one prospect, came up this year. He's already got a World Series. He's already got over 100 home runs at the age of 23. Are you in the camp that you just do whatever it takes to get him, or are you just, let's
Uh,
make a deal that we can afford, and if it's not right, it's not right?
are you speaking about the Dodgers particularly?
Yes, the Dodgers, the Dodgers.
Yeah, for the Dodgers, it definitely is one of those where you're a little bit more restrictive because the need isn't there. Look, don't get me wrong. Juan Soto is a freaking incredible player. He would be the best player on that team, not named Marcus Lynn Betts. But look, you have a lot of really good pieces. Your lineup is already the caliber to contend for a World Series. It all comes down to what the ask is. I saw a proposed trade on Twitter that could align. It was about 4 or 5 prospects: Gavin Lux and Dustin May. If you can hit that, sure. If you can keep their starting rotation as we know it and most of the team together, sure. I'd love to do it for Freddie Freeman. That would be my dream come true, but he's got a no trade clause and they're obviously not going to trade him. But the whole time since he declined and the Nationals said, okay, now we're going to trade him. It's very public knowledge he's getting traded. I don't really like. Not that I don't want it, but I don't think what they'll have to give up is worth it because they won't get that much better. Now, your team, on the other hand, in my opinion, is the front runners. I think they have the pool of talent to do it, and I think if you plug him in with the season that Goldie and Nolan are having, that is a terrifying top of the order. Now again, if they do that, you probably still want to bolster pitching, but
Yep.
I like him to go to the Cards, Max.
Yeah, so there are a couple things. One is, a lot of people have said that the Nationals would like to pair any Soto deal with Patrick Corbin, who is the Nationals pitcher who they still owe, I think, like $60 million after he signed some crazy deal in 2018. And since then, he's been like the statistically worst pitcher in the league, given a certain number of qualified starts. So they would like to package them together. But yeah, it seems like the Cardinals are definitely up there. And I think we absolutely could make a package that would make it worth it. We've talked about all the young players, all the rookies we brought up this year: Donovan, Yepes, Gorman, and even other young players that have been playing. Dylan Carlson's only 23, I think. O'Neill, Bader. And plus, you've got
Jordan
still
Walker.
Jordan Walker. I'm kind of in the camp that Jordan Walker's untouchable. We don't trade him for Soto no matter what. This dude is primed to be an elite player. He's homegrown from, or not from, I don't know if he's from St. Louis, but he's been in the Cardinals system. He would come up, we would have him under control, and he could be, I don't want to say just as good as Soto, but he is primed to be a star in this league. I don't want to trade him, but I think I'm a little more liberal than a lot of people in terms of what I would give up to get Soto, because in my opinion, the Cardinals are
What's
kind of
the
in a,
what's the untouchable list? What's your untouchable list?
So excluding guys that won't be traded, like Nolan and Goldie, like they won't be touched. Um, there's not many people there. I think Jordan Walker's untouchable in my eyes. I really wouldn't like to give up Tommy Edman. He's untouchable in my eyes. But after that, like Tyler O'Neill could go, Bader could go. I really really love Dylan Carlson, but this is Juan Soto we're talking about, so I'd give up him. Throw in Librador, right? He's been in the mix. I don't really want to give up Nolan Gorman because he's so young. He's already shown so much pop in his bat. But at the same time, it's Juan Soto. So there's kind of two camps I always see on Cardinals Twitter, just baseball Twitter. It's like half the people are like, well, we don't want to give up Gorman, Carlson, O'Neill, Bader because they're our core and they're all young and we can grow as a franchise with them. But at the same time, Juan Soto is like a once in a generational athlete. If you could somehow guarantee that he would stay for a decent amount of time, right? You don't really want it to be some 2 year rental player and then he's gone and now you don't have anybody. Um, but I would give up a, a lot of those guys to get Juan Soto because right now I feel like the Cardinals are in a kind of a mode where Goldie is having his best season of his career. Arenado's still Arenado. If you put Soto on this team and maybe enhance the pitching in some way, this is a team that is going to compete for a World Series. And right now, the Cardinals need to make the playoffs. I mean, there's really no doubt about it. They have too much talent to miss the playoffs.
Also, coming out of the NL Central, you mentioned that every team basically that you play from now on is borderline not a qualified baseball team. So, cheers there. And again, I think people forget this because Soto's been a household name in the league for 4 years. He's 23 years old. Juan Soto is a prospect in himself, just one that's won a World Series and has 100 home runs. So he's an incredible bat. Again, I was kind of surprised to see the Dodgers go right after him. Makes sense. All the big name
Yeah.
teams are there just because they can sign him, do that to the $500 million extension. But I'd kind of like him to go somewhere not, like I think St. Louis kind of a perfect destination. There, they're going to be competitive. They're always going to try and win. Lets him really do some unique stuff rather than like just pit on the pinstripes or even the Dodger blue. And again, now if you can get Freddie Freeman off the team and get Juan Soto on, like I will build a statue of Andrew Freeman outside my apartment right now if he can figure a way to do that. I don't think he has any interest, but Juan Soto also, real quick, Max, I want to go on a little bit of a rant about how garbage the Washington Nationals organization is. The organization, not the fans, not the players. I actually like the thing, but the actual the manager, the owner, because in light of them being upset that Juan Soto declined their offer, which by the way was a huge offer, 440 million, 15 years, but on a per year basis, he would have been making less than Corey Seager. And I love Corey Seager. He signed that baseball. But Juan Soto needs to be making more per year than Corey Seager in any world that is right and just. So there is some reasons there. Again, the competitiveness. If they sign Soto to 440, they basically won't pay another player above league max. But in light of all that, the Nationals did not charter a flight to Los Angeles for Juan Soto, who participated in the home run derby, obviously a National League All Star.
And won the Derby.
Instead, he had won the Derby, by the way, which they should get. He won it in a Nationals jersey. They should get no credit for because they made him fly commercial. He said he got in at 1:30 a.m. local time, and then that following night, so Friday 1:30 a.m. or sorry Monday 1:30 a.m. prior to the home run derby. But the fact is, even if you're at wit's end with the guy, you're upset he's not going to accept your extension. He won your franchise a World Series. Even on his way out, he's winning a home run derby in a season that has been absolutely terrible because of your lack of any other talented players. He's out there winning home run derbies, giving the fans even, one night where they can be excited. Nationals can post, they're excited, they have something. The team's posting about it, and you couldn't even fly the damn dude out. I mean, it's pretty disgraceful, and it's just bad management. He's going to the All-Star game where he's going to be talking to the best players in baseball. And when they're like, oh, how is your travel arrangements? Oh, by the way, the Nationals, if you don't bend the knee and do exactly what they want, they stop treating you like a player, even if you win them a World Series. Just a bizarre message to send around. And of course, it got reported. Like, you made Juan Soto fly on Southwest. What are you thinking?
Yeah, and I like what you said, like that he won them a World Series because it's not like he was just there for a couple years. They didn't really do a lot of winning, and then he's out. He won them a World Series. I mean, that wild card game in 2019 against the Brewers, he hit the go ahead double at the end of the game, right? Like he was pivotal in them winning the World Series. Um, but I want to kind of throw something back at you because there was another player that this happened to, Paul Blackburn from the Oakland A's. He was planning on flying commercial, and your favorite franchise, the Houston Astros, picked up the bill basically and said, "Come fly private with us." So, how does that reflect then on Houston as a franchise? Does that sway your feelings at all?
It tells me the American League is soft. They're not competitive. I mean, what are we doing flying out rivals? If I found out the Dodgers flew any San Francisco Giants into the game, I would lose my mind. I
The
would
A's have
freak
like
out.
3 wins.
Well, I mean, I get that, but I mean, you're talking AL West. I'm not rolling out the carpet for anyone in the National League West. I don't care if they're there. In fact, I wish they weren't invited to Dodger Stadium. So I'll say, I mean, nice move. Again, little too late if you're going for like we're a good moral, nice people franchise. You cheated the game. Not great. No morals. Very low ethics. I guess it was nice. I feel like that's weird though. You just got off a series together and you're like, hey, just come hang out. But again, they're all MLB players. You know, you're off the field when you're not playing, I'm sure. Play cards, hang out, you know. They're closer to each other than any of us are to them, you know. And so I guess kind of, I'm not going to say a classy move because that word does not belong with that organization. Kind of a nice move. My competitive fire, I don't necessarily get it. I have nothing but hatred for NL West rivals. You know, I no interest in helping them. But so two kind of private jet charter public situations, one good and one the Washington Nationals, just proving once and for all joke of an organization. Literally
So,
not flying Juan Soto out.
one other thing I want to say about Soto, though. So, we talked about the Cardinals and Dodgers. There are a lot of other teams on that list, though, which I think some of them deserve kind of questions. One that I'm really interested in, and I think have maybe a dark horse chance at one of your division. You don't like calling them rivals, but division contemporaries, the San Diego Padres. Um, I think they might have a sneaky chance here. They already have Manny Machado. They already have Fernando Tatis, two of the most electric players in baseball. Getting another young electric player combining with the pitching staff that's done pretty well all year and a strong cast of characters around those what would be those three, and Cronenworth, who is an all-star. Um, I think they have a sneaky chance, and I honestly can just kind of picture Soto in those gold gray uniforms, and I think it's possible he ends up there.
He would look good. The team would be electric. The one big pushback I have is if they get Soto, Jake Cronenworth is going to be a Washington National
Yeah.
because you assume they're not trading Machado or Tatis. CJ Abrams, their number one prospect, stud infielder, middle infielder, he's gone. I mean, he's the centerpiece of the package. You have to send Cronenworth because they're going to ask for someone who can be MLB ready. Because again, Soto's really the only MLB ready player on the Nationals. Um, we'll see. Maybe they toss an arm in there. I don't know if I think it's got to be Mackenzie Gore, C.J. Abrams, and Cronenworth if you're doing it. I mean, if you're doing those three for one, maybe taking Corbin back. I mean, it's going to have to be a pretty serious package for San Diego to get there. And again, the bad news is Soto could go there. I'm a big Soto fan. They still could not run the National League West. I'm not sure there's anything that the little brothers can do to become relevant in the National League West.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I mean, the other teams they mentioned, the Giants, I don't see it. Mariners, I just don't see it. Um,
you'd have to get J Rod in there, and why would you do that? I mean, I like Soto, but like keep
I
J Rod.
I don't
That's your
think J
future.
Rod would be in the deal. I think J Rod's untouchable for the Mariners. I think they would find another way to do it. There's just absolutely no chance that the Mariners would trade Julio Rodriguez.
Yeah, I mean, so I guess maybe Ty France, and I think Yankees, I'm not sure there's much there that they would send back that would make the deal make sense unless they basically unload their farm system. Jason Dominguez, can't forget they have another really good prospect there, maybe one of their outfielders. But the Mets, to me, could also have a sneaky chance. They have enough decent guys that they basically could trade everyone's favorite All Star Jeff McNeil and a couple other pieces. Prospect, um, I can't forget they have a ridiculously good shortstop prospect, like top 10 in baseball. He could be in it. So if the Mets do it, that's dangerous too, because Cohen will sign him to a $600 million
Right.
extension. And then if you start looking at that team, Francisco Lindor, Pete Alonso, Juan Soto, obviously with that ridiculous pitching staff, that is a terrifying team. That's a team you don't want to. I mean, wherever Soto goes, anyone on that list, if you add Soto to the team, they instantly jump to being a top 3 World Series contender, probably.
Oh, for sure. And the other team on the list, the Yankees, maybe I don't even want to think about what that would be like. But it's a possibility, of course. Um, but James,
I
any
heard,
last thoughts on Soto? Go ahead.
yeah, just a thought on the Yankees was I did hear someone say they're more focused on getting the Aaron Judge extension buttoned up than they are worried about getting Soto, which rightfully so. I mean, that's your guy. He's on pace to be MVP. So that's it. It's going to be a huge sweepstakes to watch. He may get traded at this deadline. He may not, depending
Yeah.
on what offers come in.
Deadline is
So we'll
August
follow
2nd.
it.
August 2nd. We're recording this July 21st, less than 2 weeks away. And yeah, like you said, he could not be traded. It's very possible. He'll go into his third or fourth year arbitration, I think.
And just real quick, because we talked about Patrick Corbin being one of the worst pitchers in baseball, I want to give a special shout out to one of my least favorite pitchers, least favorite people in baseball, who got DFA'd for a second time this season, and that is Dallas. Blame my teammates. Keuchel only pitched for Arizona in 4 games, had a not 9 point something ERA, 2 losses, 2 no decisions. They were like, get the hell out of town. DFA'd twice in one season. Maybe you should focus on pitching and not blame your teammates, Dallas Keuchel. Just had to toss that in there.
No,